Welcome to the Legion Outriders podcast, your source for the latest Legion news, opinion, and analysis. And now, the Outriders.
Hello, Outriders! We are back with a hot new episode for you, unless you're catching up and binging all these episodes, and it's far in the future. It's less hot. Okay, hot,
it's still hot,
but not new.
Maybe a little lukewarm.
Right.
But definitely a post on how Yoda is destroying the meta.
Oh man, that Yoda! Don't get me started. Wait. How's it going? We've got Matt, Dan, and John with us here this week. How you doing, guys?
I'm back from the dead, apparently.
Yes.
Based on last episode.
I mean, the way he was talking about it, you had passed on.
I'm recovering well from a cold. Luckily, not COVID. So I apologize in advance for any, prepubescent squeaks in my voice here.
Oh man, I'm just glad you could make it because it feels like we just recorded, but that's because I was out of state for a week, so I just kind of lose time. But we've got, if you're listening to this in the closer linear timeline, a lot to discuss. We got some Star Wars news, we got some Legion news. We got more Legion news.
Well,
and then we got Legion news.
We didn't have a lot of Legion news until yesterday.
Yeah, if you're listening to this in the like on the Monday release, then it's the spicy topic right now. But we're gonna talk about that real quick. John, what have you been up to, bud?
Man, I don't know, just enjoying the summer, doing some painting. I think since last time I was on here, I got all my AA5 built and painted. One of them.
One of them.
All
of one of them.
All of one of them, yeah. I still have my second one that I'm going to do something a little different with when I get around to it. But
okay.
I'm going to practice some like graffiti-style airbrushing on that.
You going to put a light kit in it?
No.
Okay.
I'll leave that for Jeff.
Yeah, fair. I think you finished that. It's almost done, I think.
Did you post pictures of it? Because
I did, yeah. It's on my Instagram.
Oh, okay. You also had an article come out, too. Not too long ago.
Actually, I think since the last episode I was on, we had just published the AA5 article.
Yep.
I did a Wookiee article on the 5th Trooper blog. So it's
wow, really getting outside your comfort zone.
I know, right? Yeah. What do I know best? All right, I'm gonna stick with Wookiees. So it covers the new Kashyyyk Defenders, Kashyyyk Resistance, and the Wookiee Chieftain.
Ooh.
So it's
nice.
I mean, obviously I haven't had a chance to play with those yet, but just speculation for now.
Sure, that's what you say. Dan, you got any Legion-related stuff in?
Yeah, I finished up my first squad of the Stormtrooper upgrade packs where I'm replacing all my Stormtroopers with them, and I posted that up in the Discord and the Facebook.
Oh, nice.
And the sculpts are just amazing, and it looks so much better.
Yeah, they do look really good.
And I've also been getting into adventures in magnetizing. I am going through and magnetizing my whole army and cutting a bunch of sheet metal and making magnetic storage for it. So.
And that will be our entire second topic. Dan is going to explain to us how magnets work.
Yes, my fingertips are still covered in freaking super glue from all those magnets.
But we're obviously going to be talking about my tournament experience at Lone Star Open here in a little bit. But I was painting like a madman to get to tabletop quality with my my Rebel forces because, as I noted on the Twitter, I knew I was going for months, and yet somehow the day before I'm supposed to leave, I am feverishly basing and finishing up painting and all that. Actually, John helped me out with a basing technique that I really liked, doing the snow bases and all that, and I think it turned out really well. But
procrastination, it's a hell of a drug.
It is, man. That's how I live my life. But anyways,
I'll give you some props. I mean, you did start working on it at least a week beforehand.
I mean, a little bit, and then I let it set for like 2 weeks, and then I was like, wow. We're getting on that plane ride here soon. I should probably, finish out these. I had 4 completely unpainted models, and then I had like 2 colors on like 2 squads, so I had to go through and finish them out. But it got done, and I'm gonna go continue now. Now that the contrast layers are done on there, I'm gonna go and actually do highlighting and clean up and all that kind of stuff, make them look real pretty.
Ooh.
Yeah. Well, prettier. How about that? But before we get into all the rest of that, Dan, what's going on in Star Wars?
Well, it's a reminder to everyone to up your Patreon rewards because, the Galactic Star Cruiser had another reveal on on Disney's YouTube channel.
Oh, actually, speaking of shout-outs, might as well get this out. Thank you, Diff, for upping to Imperial Outrider level. You monster. And Nokio joined in as a first-time pledge for Imperial Outriders. So, yay, guys. Thanks for your support.
Yeah. So on the Disney YouTube channel, they bunch of the Imagineers had a little round table explaining what things that are going to be shown in the Galactic Star Cruiser experience. And they announced the opening date too, spring 2022.
Oh,
So coming up actually pretty quick.
Yeah, pretty quick.
Yeah. There's going to be a live dinner entertainment. So they showed off some of the food plates that they were working on. There's some really weird looking food.
We're gonna have some Ronto wraps.
Oh no, it's. I sent you the link to the video. I know you still need to watch it.
Yeah, I need to watch it.
But they said they had a Mustafar inspired plate and like plate that looks like lava rocks and burnt twisted stuff. It still looks appetizing.
Mustafar. Wait, so where are we gonna have bananakin on flambe?
Exactly. And they had some blue shrimp on there that I was like on the fence. I'm like, I don't know if that's something I would want to eat.
I swear I read something like years and years ago that it was actually scientifically proven that blue is the least appetizing color of food.
Really? I mean, they did that purple ketchup. Remember that?
Oh, thanks. No, thank you. No. Okay.
Blue
never mind, you
Gatorade
win.
is the best flavor of
Yes.
Gatorade.
It is, but it's not really a food, is it?
Gatorade?
It's got the electrolytes
What
plants
if you
crave.
freeze
but,
it?
Yeah. Oh. Well, then it's just a popsicle, which is
Still
But yes,
food.
I agree with John.
Technically.
Blue is the best color of Gatorade. Or best color, best flavor.
I like purple.
You like purple flavor?
Yeah. I think it's fierce.
That's fair. However, if anybody tries to tell you it's actually grape Gatorade, that's
Yeah.
a cop and you stay away.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's definitely not that. It is purple.
Yeah. But they explained this kind of story you'll be going through. It ties in with things in Galaxy's Edge. So, like, you say you're going to meet the buyer of the coaxium that you steal if you
Oh.
fly on Millennium Falcon Smuggler's Run. That guests will be asked to do favors for shopkeepers, or shopkeepers may ask you to do favors for them for talking to other people back on the Star Cruiser. So there's going to be a very immersive experience.
So
But
we get quests and
Yeah,
quest
basically
rewards.
you get quests. And it's funny, they were very specific in their wording on the video. They said, "Oh, you're doing favors or jobs for things, never quests." But in
No,
the back of my mind, I'm popping up like, "Yeah, it's a quest."
Yeah, it's totally a quest.
But they were also explicit to say that you can be as immersive as you wish. You can go in and do all this, or you can just sit back and watch everything as well.
Okay, I got to get a costume because I swear, I think the one thing I saw somebody saying was like, "Wait, you can have full costumes for this." I know that they were going to encourage it, but actually the full costume thing might be really cool.
Matt's going to out cosplay the actual people who work there.
I need to get my poofy admiral pants together. Yeah, so Patreons, head on over there so we can live cast from our Star Cruiser vacation.
They did not announce pricing yet, but it's gonna be spicy, I'm sure.
The price tag will be catastrophic.
Yes. Other Star Wars news. I am a horrible person. I did not write his name down. But the YouTuber who deepfaked Luke in Mando Season 2, I don't know if you saw those YouTube videos going around.
No.
Where they... You didn't see that?
No.
I gotta say.
I've been gone.
You've been gone. Oh, no, that was a while ago.
Oh, was it? Oh,
back
okay.
when Season 2 launched and they had
I
the
don't
whole
really
Luke
watch deepfake things.
No.
I think it's kind of weird.
But
anyways.
he improved the video of that, at least that scene, considerably.
Oh, so
made it
he
look
took
a
the
lot
last
more-
scene
yeah.
from Mando and
like made it actually
punched
look
it
like
up?
actually made it look like Harrison or not. God,
Mark Hamill?
I'm still on Dayquil, guys.
yeah.
On Mark
It's
Hamill,
okay,
yes.
man. We'll fill in the gaps.
But he was hired by Lucasfilm.
That's awesome. Hey, get straight into ILM. Get on over here.
Yes.
Well, that's cool. I'm glad to see that they're. It's a
mean-
cool technology because obviously you still want to be able to visit with your characters, even though the actors have aged or passed on. So having limited amounts of it like that with a nice high quality to it, I'm gonna have to go watch those now, I guess.
Yeah, it's nice when that technology is actually used for good as opposed to, creating political propaganda or whatever.
Yeah, well, that too, or hide mustaches.
Not to go off on a tangent on the Indiana Jones movie filming, but with current things that have been going on in that movie, they need deep faking on Harrison
really?
Ford.
Aw.
Yeah.
It's going.
So,
He's an old man.
well, yeah, I don't know if you heard he hurt himself on set,
Did he?
and he's
Yeah.
out for like at least, I think they said 18 months. Don't quote me on
Ooh.
that, or something like that. I don't know. I
That'll
remember, yeah.
put a hitch in your
Yeah,
production
so
schedule.
rumor is that they're having a body double walk around and they're going to deep fake his face on the body double.
Wow.
So we'll see how that comes out. And
I wonder if we're going to get to the point in the future where it's like the same 200 actors just doing every movie forever. because of deepfakes. We're gonna have John Wayne and
Nicolas Cage entered the chat.
Nicholas. I mean, he's never gonna die, so he's always gonna be available.
Man, all the contract negotiations just for likeness rights are going to be crazy.
Yeah, it's kind of nuts.
And the last thing I had here to go along with the Dave Filoni action figure, because I know you're getting that one.
Yeah, has that actually gone up yet? I was looking for that.
I don't think so yet.
No,
I'll have to double check on that.
Still waiting. Yeah.
But Hasbro announced a Paz Vizsla, which was, of course, played by Jon Favreau in the Mandalorian Black Series figures coming out, too. So you can have both your Dave Filoni and your Jon Favreau action figures now.
I thought we had that one already. I know that
Oh, was
they're
the
doing a
6-inch
carbonite. Yeah.
Did they
I could
re-release
be.
it? Oh.
They're doing a carbonite version. They're
I know they did the
like
3
the
and
Scout Trooper,
quarter.
the Shore Trooper, and Paz Vizsla. I'll double check that. I think I have that guy already. But I'll just assume you're right, Dan, because you know everything.
No question, Dan.
Yeah. It's like
Please-
realized I was getting
please
way out
question
on that
Dan.
limb.
If last episode was any indication, I do get things wrong. So.
Oh yeah, you questioned me on my Wookiees. I'm gonna question you. I'm gonna question
Apologize.
I apologize.
You took the high
you.
road.
I made it sound like you were dead, but
But I trust your expertise enough where when you questioned me, I didn't question that. I was like, oh, you're probably right.
No, seriously. He's got the track record and the credibility. And I'm like, yeah, Dan actually knows things.
Yeah.
Anyways, any FLG updates?
I mean, 181 days to LVO.
Yay!
So yeah, it's sub 200. So I got to start panic working back on the Star Tours table, back away from my army.
Yeah. Also, those that are interested in SoCal Open, tickets were supposed to go on sale yesterday, Friday, as we're recording, but I think they're going to be, as of the release of this podcast episode, Monday was the new day. So.
August 2nd. Yes.
Thank you.
Coincidentally, all the tickets for every event except the Star Wars events are open. So
Yeah,
all the 40K, Age of Sigmar, all that.
I stopped by at LSO at the front, and Reese and a couple of the other guys working there was like, "Hey, so when's the event tickets for SoCal going up?" They're like, "They're already up." And I was like, "Wait, what?" And they're like, "Oh, wait, Legion?" I was like, "Yeah." He was like, "Oh, a couple days." I was like, "Oh, okay." I don't know why the difference, but yeah, hopefully they should be up, and I'm gonna grab my ticket.
And correct me if I'm wrong, on this particular case, they aren't doing an event ticket. It's just, or not event, but like, they're not doing a convention ticket. It's just individual events. Unlike where you LVO, where you had to buy an LVO ticket and then the event ticket.
Yeah, they
So
didn't do
that-
that for LSO either. I wasn't sure. I was like, "Wait, did I buy an event ticket?" And they're like, "No, they're not doing that." I'm like, "Oh, okay.
Okay.
That saves me a few bucks." So
Yeah.
Anyways, we had some reveals.
Yes. They were just box art and renders, but they were still reveals and official announcements.
Yeah,
'Cause
we did hear about the leak. You remember the leak?
Yep,
Once
I do
upon a
remember
time?
that a while back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So now we see what they look like. I'm still really curious about the scale on the spider tank.
I'm assuming it's a medium, same as like the ATRT base.
Yeah,
You
it looks
think?
ATRT sized.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was guessing the base size, but it's probably going to be,
Well, the
plopped
feet
on
were
there
like
pretty good.
literally on the edges and kind of spilling over the edges of
Yeah.
the base. So
It was cute though. I liked
yeah.
it.
You like it? You
Oh,
like
little
the
guy.
there's a couple little memes out there putting googly eyes on him. And
Yeah,
anime
I
eyes
saw
and,
Crabak was putting that
Yeah.
one out. So yeah, we got the spider tank renders, the Fluttercraft, the STD, and the Magna droids.
There's a pill for that.
If you're
STD.
lucky, yeah. The super tactical droid coming out. What was the named one of those?
Oh, there's a couple of them. There's Kalani, there's
Kalani.
Kraken, there's Otto, there's like 3 or 4 more that I'm blanking on right now.
I mean, I
I'm
think that's pretty good
disappointed.
though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know all of them right off the tip of your tongue.
Oh yes.
You're
Yes,
a separatist fan. Name 5 super tactical droids.
Yeah. You're a Star Wars fan. Name every clone.
Jango Fett.
Oh, but looking at that Fluttercraft render, I'm kind of as a non prequel player looking and saying, oh, I guess the Republic's gonna have the same fun that droid players always had with how spindly that thing looks.
But at least like the droids are easy to transport. You can just put them in a little foam thing. I'm looking at that and I'm getting like AOS Night Haunt vibes from that, like how spindly everything on there looks. And
Those
so that's
wings
gonna
sticking
snap
way out
off,
and
yeah.
how thin.
I
they
mean,
look.
you know how I feel about flying bases already.
Oh
anyway.
yeah, they're your favorites. But I was kind of. Did they not have like the butterfly wings or the firefly wings?
They
on
did,
there?
yeah.
Oh, they did.
Yeah.
Okay, the one I saw didn't look like it, but I might have been looking at it wrong.
Are you talking about from the top, like where the chopper blades would be?
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
They have
They're
those.
ornithopter wings. Actually.
Oh, they are. Okay,
Yeah, they
cool.
flap.
I
They
was
don't
wanting to
spin.
make sure that was going to be the case because that's what I remember from the movie. But
Yeah, and it had a smaller set of flappy wings in the front nose too. So you got those thin, easy
got
to
a
snap
little
off
mustache.
Things. Yeah.
I'm excited for them because like they look like cool models. I really hope the rules aren't great for them, so I don't have to worry about transporting them anywhere.
Well, come on, it's Wookiees, man. What do you care about rules?
No, I don't care about the rules. I care about whether or not I want to actually transport it. Like if they're gonna like add to the synergy of playing the Wookiee Chieftain or the Wookiees for Galactic Republic.
Dan, we got to get John into training. We'll send him to work in the watch factory for a week or two.
God.
Get that manual dexterity up there. Have some, kind of calisthenics for your hands, so you get rid of those sausage sausage fingers.
Your fingertip push-ups.
With his painting quality, I figure his dexterity is already there.
Oh,
but,
that's a good point.
Yeah.
What are you complaining about there?
I don't know. I don't like the assembling the Finley bits. Like putting together models like
Go play Empire then. Come on. Chonky boys for days.
Yeah, literally the Gav tank is like one brick
Yeah.
model. Like,
yeah, no, I suppose like putting together like a couple of the MCP models I've done recently where they've got like little because like they're obsessed with doing like spindly little like magic lightning bolts and stuff to like base a model. Looks awesome. Pain in the butt to try to get to put together.
Yeah, well, that's the
sure.
price you pay for sweet looking stuff.
True.
I'm sure there's a potential for magnets. So you guys, I know I might be on a little magnet kick right now because
maybe. Yeah.
Well, I know with like doing like some of the jet bikes and stuff for 40K, like you can do those socket and ball joint magnets. They're actually really nice, and that might work well for the Fluttercraft.
I actually kind of want to see if I can convert the T-47s over to that because I'm doing like little banking, this kind of stuff. So.
I might have a couple extra for you.
Hey, sweet. Anything else that we saw on those?
Nothing else really happened on the Facebook yesterday. Nothing.
No, nothing at all.
Nothing at all. Nothing to see here. Move along. Move along.
I think at least mention that hey, we've got a change of an ownership at the official. Well, not the official. Legion Facebook group, the big one, and LJ is now over there.
I mean, it was a roller coaster yesterday with that.
I was streaming the entire evening, so I was like, oh no, got bad news, and then I was out for like 6 hours, and then I checked back, and I was like, oh no.
Well, I was at work, and I had caught the original post that somebody had, took a screenshot of what what Luke Eddy had tweeted.
We're talking about first, the Twitter that Luke has been let go from his position as designer at Atomic Mass Games, part of Asmodee, and that was pretty brutal, I gotta say.
Yeah, so the tweet that he originally had sent out yesterday basically said, "Hello, friends, fans, and followers. As of this Wednesday, I'm no longer with Atomic Mass Games and am no longer working on Star Wars Legion, X-Wing, or Armada. This was unfortunately not a decision that I made."
Yeah,
but I don't think many people on the Facebook saw because there was a hubbub about that. But
yeah,
he followed up with like 6 or 7 more Twitter posts thanking everybody. He was extremely positive.
Oh no, he's such a good dude. I wouldn't expect anything less from him, but it is really kind of a kick in the pants for the Legion community at large and Star Wars, because he did work on those other projects as well. Very disappointed to see him go. He was the silver lining of the whole AMG shake-up because we're like, well, at least we got one of the original OG, designers still with a hand on the tiller, and now it's like, I don't know. Yeah.
Well, his last post in that thread was, quote, "If you play Legion and like what I designed, I have good news. If things go according to plan, there's still awesome Legion content designed by yours truly, yet to be released. Other than that, stay tuned. I don't know what the future holds for me, but I can't wait to find out." So,
and I'm sure he'll land another job super quick.
And just like Alex, definitely if you see any projects by him in the future, definitely look into them, consider buying them.
Yeah.
So,
but the Facebook controversy kind of stemmed from one of the admins on that Facebook Legion page.
Yeah.
Basically ignoring that last tweet that Luke had sent out and went all Chicken Little and was, doom and gloom saying this game's just about dead.
Yeah.
To be fair, he wasn't the only one doom and glooming. There was a lot of people.
but and what ended up getting LJ banned was LJ had said, as the admin of this Legion page, you probably shouldn't be,
Yeah.
throwing.
You're
that
in a
opinion out
position
there.
of responsibility. Hold it together, man.
So things happened. This guy chose to ban LJ, and then the Legion community kind of went in an uproar because
What?
LJ is like he's like the champion of the Legion community. I mean, we have podcasters, we have content creators and stuff like that who do a lot to try to keep this game going and keep the game interesting. But I mean, when it comes down to it, like LJ is the motor that makes this community go.
Yeah. No,
And-
he's like the godfather.
Right. No, I mean, and he's somebody who selflessly gives of his time and his effort to make sure that there's a positive place for people in the community. He's not one of these people who's going to throw criticism at others. And honestly, like my own personal interactions with him, like I sometimes like, man, like I wish I was that positive, and I wish I went through my
for sure.
And Legion is not his only thing. Like he's a very busy person. So for him to take on the additional role of being the admin for this page too, well, I think it's great for the community. It's like, man, he's.
If I had to guess, he's going to handpick some people to step into that role. I mean, he's got enough hats that he's plate spinning.
Yeah.
Mix two metaphors there.
But I mean,
That's just how complicated it is. But
Yeah, and he's got a little one that he just.
new kid.
So
he's in the guard in California, and then he's also a school teacher, and then he's also working the forums and then the Discord and all that stuff. But anyways, let's. I guess we just got to see how things shake out at this point, because there's nothing really to be done about it. I made my angry noises at Asmodee because I think they're not making moves in the interest of the community, but I also don't think they care.
And that's I think the thing that really just kind of upset me the most about this was, we worked with Luke and Alex when they first really started like developing the game and moving it past just its initial launch. And they've both been extremely gracious to the community. They've both been done a great job of being a front, the front and center,
the face,
public face of these games. And we don't know what went into the transition from FFG to AMG. From what we saw, it looks like there's the puppet master over at Asmodee who doesn't care so much about the employees that are working at their respective companies, but they're moving things around, assets and things, just to what makes financial sense, which from a business perspective, I get it. But I feel like there's a serious disrespect of their employees.
Oh yeah, especially when he uprooted from, what was he, Wisconsin?
Yeah, I mean, Luke's from Wisconsin, like about 30 minutes outside Minneapolis. He was working at the FFG headquarters, which was in Roseville, Minnesota, just outside Minneapolis. So it was pretty local to him, and I believe Alex was also from Minneapolis. So when they decided to move all of the tabletop games, so X-Wing, Legion, Armada, from FFG over to AMG, which was also a subsidiary of Asmodee. So it's not like people are saying, AMG stole it. No.
Yeah, that was my mistake early on, is I thought this was an AMG thing, but I was corrected, like, no, they are all Asmodee employees, so that's who writes their paychecks.
From a numbers perspective, Asmodee is simply consolidating one part of a company to another similar part of the company. I get that. That makes sense. FFG became a focal point for board games, and AMG became a focal point for tabletop games. Totally understand that. However, when you have people who are willing to uproot themselves like Alec or like Luke was, to move from a relatively a low cost area around Minneapolis to one of the highest cost places in the country in Seattle. Somebody who's willing to make that move, and I don't have any idea what their salaries are, but if it's anything like what GW is complaining about right now, their employees, I don't think these game developers are getting paid a lot of money.
No.
And, he obviously has a passion for the game, loves the community, has done a great job of developing the game, and to have somebody who was just basically shown the door like that, unceremoniously, it hurts.
Yeah.
From a community member who sees that, like, it's hard to support a company who does that.
Yeah, that's the trouble. I was kind of like, oh, maybe maybe I should boycott, Asmodee. But I don't think they'd hesitate for a second just to axe Legion if they're like, well, cool, it's no longer profitable, it's done.
Yeah.
That's the crazy thing.
Yeah.
I mean, for all outward indicators we do have, Legion is selling amazing.
It seems like they can't keep the product on the shelves.
Yeah,
so.
like everyone's saying, Legion, is going to die and whatnot. Well, if Legion were on a downswing, there would be product on shelves collecting dust.
Yeah.
And considering there's, scarcity.
Yeah.
That you like reprints disappear when they come out. So it's like,
And I'm not trying to come at this like doom and gloom or like even promoting a boycott, because let's be real, all the other tabletop company games, I mean, GW is rife with issues right now. There's people who are longtime GW players who are talking about boycotting GW for their employee treatment and for the way they treat the community, like the content creators and things like that.
Wow.
So there's issues with all sorts of companies. This isn't really just something exclusive to Asmodee or AMG or FFG or anything like that. And Legion is objectively one of the best games out there. It really is. Besides the fact that we love the Star Wars IP, it's a great game.
It's a tight game, yeah.
And Alex and Luke did a great job. I'm hoping that AMG has some talent, like whether that's Will Schick or Will Pagani over from Marvel Crisis Protocol, if they're going to employ some of their experience to help develop this game, or bring somebody else in. I don't know what the inner workings of AMG's plans are for the future, and I don't think we have any reason to necessarily think that it's going to be the death knell of the game.
No, and I certainly hope that is not. I mean, no, we're probably all hoping that is not the case here. It's just they attacked one of the darlings and is no longer attached to it, so everybody's kind of grieving in their own way to various amounts. So
So Asmodee, do better.
Yeah.
Do better by your people.
Do better by your people. Everybody, all the businesses should do that. But anyways, I think that's enough said on that one. But we will continue to monitor the situation, and hopefully we'll can put this ugly chapter behind us. But anyways, how about some other Star Wars there, Dan? Oh, I'm being told it's time for a break. Is it time for a break? Are you guys ready to break?
Let's take a break.
I guess we could take a quick break. All right, we'll be back after these messages. Hey guys, Matt here to tell you about our friends over at 6UP Supply. If you're like me and don't have access to your own 3D printers, 6UP Supply has you covered with a whole suite of printing services to bring those awesome files to life. The Outriders are proud to be partnered with 6UP, and you could find special themed terrain, gear, and tokens with a big discount for Patreon members in the Outriders Central section of the website. And that's not all. You can also get terrain bases, game supplies, tools, LED kits, and more. Stuff is being added all the time. So stop by the number 6upsupply.com and use coupon code OUTRIDER to save 10% on your next order, and let them help you up your game.
You are receiving the Legion Outriders podcast. Ending the transmission now would be most unfortunate. And now, the Outriders.
Welcome back, Outriders. And now, to go rah-rah Legion, I'm going to be recounting a tale. Pull up a stool, Chitlins. We're going to talk about some Star Wars Legions.
I'm excited to hear this because, Matt, you did us proud.
Oh, yes.
Thank you. Yes, I did. No, I definitely had the best tournament showing that I've shown. But this was a very unique experience. I hope I can recount some of the highlights. But to cut to the chase, I went to the Lone Star Open, which was held last weekend as of this recording. And I spent the Saturday and Sunday there getting some games in, and I had an absolute blast. Spoiler, playing Legion's fun. It was great. But then I was able to kind of turn it into a little vacation. I went down to Austin, visited some friends. But so this was kind of the first big event since lockdown that I went to, and it was held in Allen, Texas at a actually pretty nice venue out there. They have like a exhibition hall attached to a big Marriott hotel. So kind of like in Vegas where we get, the hotel casinos, but it looked I mean, it wasn't quite. There were slot machines everywhere and ugly carpeting and all that, and chain smokers in the lobby.
No,
but,
with that concrete floor, I'm sure you were begging for some ugly carpeting, right?
It actually wasn't too bad, but yes, it was all concrete in there. But overall, it was a really nice venue. Allen, Texas is fairly pretty and fairly pretty. That sounds kind of like. It was near a business park area with a lot of stuff nearby across the street to go get food and things like that. So that was kind of nice. It did have the big concrete, but it wasn't packed by any. This was like a big hall, and we had the entire run of it, and Legion was kind of in the back corner. And we took up a good portion of it, but all the other 40K and AOS, and there was some X-Wing and Armada going on. It's like we weren't crowded on there. People were, some people had masks. Most people, I'm hoping everybody that wasn't wearing masks was vaccinated, but it seemed like we weren't crammed in there like you see people at concerts right now. But overall, it was a really nice experience. As my first kind of big, especially travel event, I'm going way out of, we've been doing LVO here and SoCal I've done a little bit. Going to Texas, I hadn't been there in years. And I got to say, when I got in town Friday night and I kind of went down to hang out, I didn't recognize anybody, had a little bit of social anxiety. I was like, oh man, there's people. What's all this about? I hung out a little bit and, then I just kind of went up to my room, had some dinner, went to bed because I had the time zone change and all that. I had to get up really early from what I'm used to. But next day, all of that just kind of fell away. They handed out the round pairings. I don't know if I went into automatic mode, but, like, oh, hey, how's it going? Meeting people, introducing, going through the business of playing the game and all that. And it just flipped on its head, and it was such a great experience. There were so many new players out there, too. Like, I played at least a couple of guys they only started playing within the last year, which might have helped my standings a little bit. Just a little bit. But I got to hang out with a bunch of people there. Dave and Mike that were doing the live casting on that. We went out to dinner a couple of times, and they just fantastic dudes. Hot and Frosty from the Patreon and Legion Discord ended up hanging out with him, and a couple of his friends are out there checking Legion out. Just made my event. It was super, super fun. Kyle was out there. Obviously, he did very well.
Yeah.
They obviously in the top tables, those are different, echelon of people. I kept meaning to go over and say hi because I hadn't seen him since the original LVO, but just every time I found him, he was in the middle of a game. But it was so cool to actually get out there and interact with players and people that are excited and passionate and playing games. But any kind of trepidation I had from the first day just instantly evaporated, and we got on with the business of the games. Would you like to hear how I did?
Let's hear it.
Hey,
okay, I did okay.
Not every podcast. Well, most podcasts have the top players, the top 8. Not every podcast, though, has the 28th place.
That's right. Middle table perspective here.
Yes.
But yes, so basically what happened was they had the main heat fire off on Saturday, and that was, what was the total player count? It was like high 50s?
It was 50. Hell, I just had it up here.
50, high 50s in there, so it was pretty good. So I'm kind of right in the middle of the pack there, which is great. That's, I think, where the most fun. You get some competition. It's not too high stakes, and you can, laugh and have fun still with it. But the first game I played was one of the newer guys out from Louisiana. His name was Luke. I think it's Legion Luke on the Discord. But it was Legion Luke. He had 799 points of clones. Spoiler, I played clones 3 times.
And from the breakdown
Saturday.
From the breakdown that we're looking at, like, it doesn't look like there's as many. Usually, it's been heavy with the Republic, and looks like 18, 15, 13, and 10. So almost.
Actually, yeah. Would you go through the breakdown for folks, because we didn't cover that?
Sure. Based on what the notes we have here, it's Rebels were 18, Republic 15, Separatist 13, Imperial 10. So I mean that's pretty close to being equal across the board.
Yeah, that's not bad. And I guess I just got lucky with all the Rexes. But for people that may not be familiar with my list, I've been talking about it off and on for several of the episodes. But it's double T-47, double ATRT rotary cannon, the Rebel officer, 2 Rebel veterans, 2 Mark II veterans, and then 2 Rebel troopers with the DLT upgrade. And I think that's pretty much things like. Of course, you got the Harpoon and the HQ uplink for the T-47s. I think I meant, yeah, Rotary Blast. Oh, so one thing, I really like this list. After playing, this is the one I've kind of been doing small iterations on and practicing, and I think I finally clicked with something here, and I had so much fun with it. I'll talk about my individual experiences during the games, but I made a mistake when I was submitting the list. I meant to get rid of vigilance on the rebel officer and keep the portable scanner, but I did the opposite, and it turns out I'm really happy I did that.
Oh,
I really enjoyed vigilance way more than the portable scanner, but mostly because you can move the rebel officer with the troopers, and you're like, cool, here's a dodge, keep it, and they keep it, and they just keep keeping it as long as they stay within range. Whereas portable scanner, you got to wait for him to activate, then hand them out. So you're kind of at the whims of when he activates, gets out there, hands out the dodges. So it's just kind of a little bit more reliable if I could plan around it. And, you know, by the end of the second turn, I've got both rebel troopers with dodges on them. And then I can, you know, use the veterans things to get their dodges when they get their orders and all that. But it turns out I really liked it. It was completely random accident, and I'm glad it happened.
Happy little accident.
Happy little accident. But, okay, yeah, so I played Luke, who was playing the clones, and it was a fun game. It was all these games were really, really fun, except for one. I'll wait for the big reveal on that one. No, actually, all of the games were really fun. All the games were very close, I want to say, except for one.
Oh, okay.
So this was a very close one. It was... He hit me with... I haven't played clones very much at all, and it's been several months since I played Rex. Unfortunately, there was some rules confusion about how Call Me Captain works, and he did a number on my troops. I'm not going to say that really kind of tipped the game one way or the other, but it definitely kind of... It did tip the game one way or the other. It was a very close game. And
Well, if
then
you're running
Call Me
armor
Captain.
skew and you get a disproportionate number of criticals, that's gonna kind of...
And that's kind of how it shook out. But it was still a super fun game. I got corrected when I was kind of talking about it to one of the other players, like, oh, that's not how that works. So like, oh, okay, I need to go let him know. And he was, you know, super apologetic about all that. It was still great experience. I ended up keeping in touch with him over the weekend. He had a lot of fun games. And again, I'm just happy to be out there rolling dice and meeting people. Second round was also somebody from the Louisiana crew, actually Luke's good friend Andrew, who was playing clones also. 7 activation clones.
Wow.
Yeah, I was like, wait, what?
Was he running like Obi-Wan and Rex?
Saber Tank,
Oh, okay.
LAAT.
Wow.
Yeah, and then some other things in there, but those were the highlights. The LAAT I ended up dropping. So the first game I played, it was... Actually, what was it? I think it was Breakthrough. Yeah, I didn't write that down for some reason. So the second game, we had Breakthrough again with Long March in Fortified Position. So I was like, oh boy, here we go. 7... He picked Breakthrough also. Like, that was his flip. And I was like, we got 7 activations? I've got 11. And I was like, Long March, yeah, I get it, but... I don't know. It ended up being a very close game. Okay. So we were heading up the table. He had the Saber Tank. I took out the LAAT because I was like, okay, that's the most maneuverable unit. Let me get rid of it. And then he activates the Saber Tank. And I have not played against the Saber Tank. I have now played against the Saber Tank. He dropped one of the T-47s. Like, he had the explosive ordnance and all that. Just rolled like a madman, and it was... I was like, cool. Well, I'm spending the rest of the game trying to stay out of the way of that. It came down to basically that last airspeeder just boop, getting into the breakthrough deployment zone at the very end of the game, and that was it. We had a massive battle in the middle of the board, and it was a ton of fun. But I think I win by like 1 point on like all the ones I won.
Oh, wow.
But great game, great dude. And again, one of the new players, and they're picking up the game so quickly. I guess that's kind of one of the beauties of Legion is this. The interactions can get a little intense, but the basics of it, like, people can pick up really fast. And that was pretty evident. Last game of the day was JJW, JJ Wood. I think he was down from New England area. But really nice guy. This is the only game we didn't go to turn 6. We went to turn 5, and then we had to call it. But we were doing a payload on a rollout. Let me tell you, I love rollout with vehicles. Oh, man, that was so much fun. But he was also, as I mentioned, playing Republic. We had limited visibility. Had Kenobi, had Rex, and man, I was gunning hard for those guys. Like I tried to send them to T-47s. I knocked several points onto each of them early on, and then he kind of like kept, popping them around. He was doing, Guardian with Kenobi to keep Rex alive. I really didn't want another call me captain situation. So I didn't have line of sight. I think it was turn 2. Turn 2, yeah, and I didn't have line of sight on Rex, so I was like, well, he's just going to Guardian with Kenobi anyways. Kenobi had like 2 wounds on him, 1 or 2, and I was like, let me just fire at him. Dude, I get 5 hits. He rolls 1 save and 4 deflections. He had already used the dodge.
Oh.
So it just kind of coasted through. I was like, oh no, Exaxes. And that really changed the game for me because I think it would have been, it was still a very close game because he played the hell out of the rest of his clones. But it was just kind of those like want dice situations. Yeah, he had used the first T-47 had gotten to go in and attack Rex, and he used the dodge on that one. And then, so the second one was able to get through.
So we had an LAAT, a Saber Tank, and Obi-Wan?
No, this was the previous game. That was the previous
sorry.
game. This one was Rex and Kenobi.
Okay.
And then a bunch of, the ARC Troopers. Having full squads of ARC Troopers, like I played against these 2 games, they both had, the last 2 games, this one and the previous one, they had a full squad of the ARC Troopers too. And it was, those guys are nuts. Those guys are so nuts. Yeah, I've done the little fire teams and things like that, but that was it. But that was kind of the first day, and then we went out to dinner that night to a place called Velvet Taco. They do all sorts of weird, like, featured foods. Like I had a Kobe beef taco, a chicken masala taco, and then like a Baja shrimp one. But it was pretty awesome. And then they do margaritas and all that. Really, really cool little place that Hot and Frosty had picked out. But the next day, they basically... So everybody that didn't go 3-0 the first day, everybody that went 3-0, they continued on, and they kept playing each other. And then Sunday, they just started basically a new tournament, the redemption bracket, they called it. And just everybody got seeded again, and it was pretty cool. And there was more prizes up for grabs. Actually, I think they had better prizes for the redemption bracket than they did. They had model kits, including a Darth Maul that might come into this conversation a little bit later. But first round was against Sean, and he played an AAT CIS list. He was out of Chicago. Really, really cool dude. We were playing Vaporators. Vaporators on a long march with War Weary was very interesting. Ooh. Yeah, and I spent the entire game just trying to stay away from that AAT. I could not stay away from that AAT, is how it turns out. But that really came down to the wire.
Was he running the HE shells on those?
What's that?
Was he running the high explosive shells on those?
Yeah, so I lost one fairly early on. I was able to keep the other one up until I think the last round. But the nice thing was, because of the long march, it was kind of a unique table. We were playing on the Naboo table. I think some of the pictures got up there. But we were able to I was able to preserve my guys just enough. He was playing without any kind of order control.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, with droids. He's just kind of like, he had droidicas out there. He had B1s, B2s, all that stuff. So it was just kind of all over the place. And I think it might have been one of the deciding factors in the game. Because,
did he get burned by AI a lot?
Yes, I think that's what it came down to, is he would have to like take shots he wasn't really prepared to do, or make a move that he had to and just lose like one of those activations. So I was able to kind of get up there, grab the Vaporators, and it got like it literally like one of the last activations. They get in there, get a repair, and that's it. That's the game.
Yeah.
It was that close, but super fun game.
Yeah, on a mission like Sabotage the Moisture Evaporators, where doing like actions is so important to scoring,
right?
That's a tough one when you don't have order control. Like the little experience I have running droids, I had an AAT and Darth Maul, but I always try to make sure I had order control with that tactical droid. and all the B1s.
Yeah.
So if you're putting that much token diversity in a droid list and then running something like moisture evaporators, that's gonna be a tough win.
Yeah, but he was another dude that has only been playing less than a year, and it blew my mind that it was just so freaking close. But the T-47s that I had, their job was just to kill anything that could interact with evaporators. I ignored the AAT. I think I took a shot at it once because it was the only thing I had. But killed the droidicas, slowly took out the B2 squads and the B1s. He had one of the evaporators just on lock, and I just kind of sent everybody else to the other one that was contested, and that was the one that ended up getting me the win on that one. But I really enjoy the evaporator fights. They tend to be very close.
I don't know if I heard you mention this one before, but what pilot upgrades did you have on your...
Hot shots.
Okay,
and I
okay.
really, really like the hot shots. So strictly why I bought a $60 kit was to get 2 cards to lower the difficulty on those in cover ones. But the last round, so because this was the redemption bracket, and we've been hanging out with Zane and Hot and Frosty the entire weekend. We're like, last round we were both 2-0. We went to the TO. We're like, hey, could we just play each other? And he was like, yeah, no problem. And so I got to face off against old Hot and Tasty, as I started calling him. But we played on a really, really cool like ice map. It was key positions, barricades, and war weary.
Barricadas.
Oh, sorry. Before I go on there, the last game. I guess I missed. I skipped one actually. So round 2 was against. I think his name was Josh. I lost my notes on this. It was Empire, but it had Op Vader, Dewbacks, Callus, Shore Troopers, and then DLT Stormtroopers. It was kind of a mishmash. He was not happy with his list at all. He still played the hell out of it though, and that was another Vaporator one. So this is one of those ones where I'm like, oh, okay, I'm starting to finally unlock this list a little bit. It again came down to the last turn. Vader, I just could not kill him. I ended up killing him after he had repaired one of the evaporators, or damaged. Yeah, I was trying to repair. And then the ATRT finally finished him off. But it all came down to one of the ones in the middle of the board didn't have much cover. I had killed Callus. Callus had gotten out there and done the damage, and I was trying to repair it up. Shoving everything towards that objective again. Trying to keep my guys. I think I was down to like 3 models. I had a T-47, I had the ATRT, and it came down to old Gideon, my rebel officer. And basically, he had just a couple of squads of guys. It was a super bloody battle, but he was bringing one squad around from a building to go to the evaporators. I don't think he could have made it and made an action on it. It was really that close. And then he had another squad that was within range. So luckily I started out turn 6 with my rebel officer in base to base. He was able to do the repair action to get it back to full. And then he charged into the stormtroopers. And that was kind of the deciding factor for the game, because then he couldn't, extract and get over there and repair or anything like that. And I was like, wow, I don't know if I would have thought about that. It seems like an obvious play now, but it's just kind of one of those things that I might not have gone for, a year or so ago, or just thinking about that and, keeping those objective plays in mind. So I was proud of myself for that one, but apparently I used all my brain juices on it, because the next game was just, like I said, they were all very close games except for this next one. One of the other things that I think kind of next leveled my gameplay was like in the previous Vaporator game, I was bubble wrapping objectives for that last turn. So I had my rebels kind of around it. So he had Maul threatening to go in and do a destroy on it. And I knew Maul could get crazy fast. So I just kind of started layering the last of my guys around one of my own Vaporators. And it worked. He couldn't quite get in there. And, that kept me in the game at that point. But, okay, last game was the ice map, Hot and Frosty. This was kind of the grudge match since we called each other out there. And this was also my game against Rebels. So I got to play everybody, three GAR, followed by Separatists, Empire, and now Rebels. And he had the AA5 and also Operative Luke. I hate Operative Luke. I have not found a way to contain him yet. You've played Operative Luke against me, and he is a handful.
Yeah.
But by like turn 3, it was just my brain had turned to sludge, and everything was dying. He had some hellacious rolls, but he was playing very well as well. He's a really good player. He's put in reps on Tabletop Simulator and all that kind of stuff, and he was definitely ready to go. But finally, I think it was like turn 4, end of turn 4. I was like, hey, can we just call this and like go get a beer or something? Yeah. But it was a lot of fun. So that was my 2-1 record for both days. Lost in the first round the first day, and then lost in the last round in the second. But there was like a bunch of 3-0s going into the redemption bracket. And part of the prizes... Zane had told me, it was like, hey, if I get up there, I know you've been waiting for a mall. If I can, I'm going to pick it and give it to you. And he did. So I've got a mall now. So
Oh, nice.
yeah, I'm very excited to go. I want to go trot that out with an AAT, maybe when we get those STDs, tactical droids. But overall, man, I'm super hyped about this. It got me really re-energized for Legion. Well, even more so. And I'm excited to go into SoCal Open, going to get my ticket for that, as I mentioned. I think if they're going to do it again next year, I'll probably go because it's a great opportunity to go visit friends and go and hang out there. The organizers there, I think Benjamin and Lupo did fantastic work. They ran a really, really smooth event, and it was really good. I'm hoping it's going to be bigger next year.
Refresh my memory. You had harpoons on both yours?
Yes. Oh, I did get harpoon kills.
I was about to say, are there any notable harpoon kills?
I did.
Yeah.
I actually got to harpoon the AAT that I went against too, and I got to turn it. Not that it matters.
Yeah, it's got a 360 gun anyway.
Yeah. It was kind of I did a thing.
Doesn't have a weak point though, so
Yeah.
maybe you could use that to your advantage.
That's a good point. Except I was not trying to fight that tank. I was just ignoring it and trying to kill all the stuff that could do objectives. But I did get some harpoon kills. I actually killed the Dewback with a last lucky shot there. A couple of clones got their heads magnet harpooned off, so nice. It was pretty cool. I keep tempting to go with the ground buzzer. I'm like, what if I could throw more dice at this? But it's like, nah, one red's fine. It's good. Free is a good price to pay.
So all the lists that you faced, you said you had what, one LAAT.
Yeah.
One saber tank.
Yeah, there was only 2 LAATs there the entire time, apparently. I got to play against one of them, so that was nice. It didn't make it to past turn 2, but still.
So you saw a decent amount of armor compared to what you would normally see in the past.
It was an armor on parade. I think, they lined up for like all the vehicles in a shot, but I was in the middle of the game, so I didn't get to bring my T-47s or ATRTs over. So if you saw that shot, imagine if there was even more. There was tons of AA5s out there.
Yeah, there was 15 or 16, I believe.
Yeah, I think 16 was what I heard. But it's kind of funny, and I said multiple times during the event, it's like we've been joking about the new vehicle meta for a while. Well, kind of half joking, but it was definitely there in force. But there was some winning lists. That was more than, obviously there was the real show going on while we were having fun in the loser brackets. Who's got the stats on? We had a first and second place face off.
Yeah, that was just way out there, or at least compared to what the meta has been previously.
That's what I was saying. That this was a weird event. Like we had new players, we had people, like myself that hadn't played a big event in over a year and a half, and so there were shenanigans going on.
Speaking of new players, you say that's the secret to your success is only play new players?
Yes, and avoid Hot and Frosty.
Yes.
Yeah. He's too good.
Well, obviously I'm not super involved with like TTS or the Invader League. But like from what we had seen from previous seasons of Invader League, since tournaments weren't a thing for quite a while, man, it's brightening my spirits to see the lists that were the top table.
Yeah,
at this.
Yeah. I wish I didn't get to even go see it yet. I need to go back and watch a playback for it because I was busy playing my own games. But yeah, the guy that ended up winning. Do you have the?
Yeah, I got a list right here.
Yeah, okay.
So first place was Grand Moff Merker, and he ran a 19-point bid with Rebels, which I don't know if you can be a Grand Moff and run Rebels, but he had Cassian, K2SO, R2D2, 3 Rebel Vets, 3 Medium Blaster Troopers, and 2 Airspeeders. So you were on the right track.
Yeah, I guess I just need to play better.
The build is very similar. It was Hotshot, and Harpoon, and he put long range comms on him too.
Yep.
I had HQ uplinks.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah.
it's a side grade there.
Yeah, it's definitely kind of a your mileage may vary thing. But having the Cassian, I might have to go look at him in the commander
Cassian's
slot.
really good. I mean,
I know
he
Jeff
brings-
loves him quite a bit.
Yeah.
So
he's arguably the best Rebel commander right now. There's some debate, but I think that's what you're getting with his support ability, with his long range, his long range stuff.
And his command cards.
Yeah, his command cards are good. So I mean, there's a lot there with that. I think for what you were doing with your Rebel officer was still a good choice. But yeah, he's real good.
yeah.
And then of course this one was my favorite though. The second place list was running Darth Vader and triple dewbacks.
Oh man,
what the heck?
yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Love it.
one of the guys we ended up hanging out with down there, Tyler, super nice guy. I think he was down there from Houston, but he brought double dewbacks, and it was always fun to check in with him between rounds. Like, oh, what the dewback? Unfortunately, they tend to draw a lot of fire, is what it turns out. But when they can get in there and chomp some droids or whatnot, it's always a celebration for everybody.
But it's a great counter meta play because if you're expecting that, like with the AA5s, if they're going to make a big impact, and then with Wookiees, if people are going to bring a lot of stuff that's going to charge up and get up in your face, those are great linebacker units. Dewbacks and Darth Vader. Because
And an
Darth,
IRG too.
IRG, yeah, exactly. Like Darth Vader's one drawback until we see Burst of Speed.
Oh, he did have an IRG.
Is-
I missed that.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, and triple shore troopers and triple mortar in the IRG.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, Darth Vader's biggest drawback is the fact that he's so slow. But if they're bringing the action to you,
Yeah. What does that matter?
yeah.
Man, yeah. The only complaint I heard from the guys that were doing dewbacks is because there was so much armor that they didn't have very good answers for it. But then again, Darth Vader's a pretty good answer for everything.
Well,
so.
and the dewback melee attack does have critical as well. So
Yeah,
have a chance to get into
you
that.
can chip it on in there.
Yeah, but that first place list with the double airspeeders,
Woo!
that's a perfect counter to what he had because they're immune to melee anyway.
Yep.
So
Yeah,
the dewbacks
yeah.
aren't doing a whole lot against them. I mean, really, the only thing you're worried about is the Darth Vader doing a saber throw,
Yeah,
which he didn't
saber
have.
throws.
Oh, no, he had
and
it.
Oh,
maybe
did he?
some
Yeah, choke
mortars.
push.
A throw. Oh, sorry, yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's really your only source of impact from range.
Yeah.
Because the shore troopers weren't running any heavies, mortars aren't doing anything against armor.
Yeah, without extra like DLTs on regular stormtroopers,
Yeah,
I can see you
and
get
both
a
of
little
these
bit of a
lists,
pass.
both these lists had their veterans and shores and their
Yeah.
detachment with no heavies.
Yeah,
Just
which
kind of
I don't.
activation padding, which is interesting.
I like that. I'm a big fan of that. I do that myself. But you need to have some source of ranged armor or ranged impact. And I mean,
I'll have to go back and watch the game, see if that's kind of what the decider was there. But I love seeing Rebels and Empire on the top table there. That's fantastic.
I just like seeing the list diversity. Having every representation or every faction being represented heavily. Having Darth Vader being viable in the meta. That's a great thing. It's something we haven't seen really since the
Even
game
before
came around.
Force Speed coming out too.
Yeah. And without the LAAT, because having the Vader bus or the flying Vader copter, it's cool, it's unique, but I like to see stuff like this. This is
I was kind of hoping to see Vader copter out there.
Yeah, there were only, I think, 3 LAATs in the whole event.
Yeah,
And
I
2 of
think
them
I
were
mentioned.
Imperial, yeah.
I think there was two, maybe 3. Yeah,
I think
two. I
two of them
know.
were Republic, right?
At least one was Republic.
Yeah,
Okay.
maybe 2 Empire. Yeah. But no, super, again, fantastic experience, great time. I would definitely do it again. Looking forward to SoCal and all that. But yeah, thank you everybody that attended or tuned in for the live streams on that. And I'm sure I'll be eagerly anticipating next year. But anyways, you guys any final thoughts on reveals, tournament brackets?
If
Wishes for
our
LVO.
normal editing schedule goes to plan, this should be going live right when the SoCal Open stuff
Yep.
goes on.
Yep.
So if
I'll
you're going
be-
to SoCal Open, hop on there, get your tickets.
Yeah, get in there, get those tickets, all that good stuff.
Because
So-
Matt's planning on going too. So.
Yeah,
I might actually try to go to LSO or to
you should.
to SoCal Open.
It'll be a lot of fun.
I'm interested to see if the meta is going to change much before then
A
because
little shifty.
we'll have Yoda come
Yoda
out by that time.
Yeah. You
And-
seek Yoda.
I'm really excited to see what Yoda's going to bring to the meta. I don't know if it's going to be a complete change of pace, but I think he's going to bring something that's going to change the way, we see some things run.
Stupid question. SoCal Open is late October?
Late October.
Yes.
Yeah.
So the Fluttercraft, Spider Tank, Super Tactical Droid, Magnadroids, provided they aren't delayed, are coming out October 1st.
Yes.
So you'll have those as well.
So those will be available too. Yeah. So
That should be really interesting.
Oh man, I mean, we don't know any of the rules on those yet. So
Not yet. I'm sure they'll be leaking them. Or not leaking, spoiling them soon. But yes.
I mean, it'd be cool to see like Magnadroids.
Yeah.
I mean, running. What about a droid melee list? You throw some Magnadroids, throw Grievous and
BXs.
or Maul or Dooku, and yeah, it might be cool. Some of the Vibroblade BX droids.
So the Wookiees that you wish you had, with all the choppy swords and all that kind of stuff.
Oh, I mean, we'll have the battle shield by then.
Oh, okay.
So let's be real. That's what I'll be running.
Yeah, not gonna go too crazy. But okay, well, thank you again to all our patrons that make this show possible. If you stop by the Facebook page and check out Legion Outriders, where we post the shows when they get announced and various other Legion news. John, where can people find you?
I'm not gonna give you my address. Sorry, I had to make the Keegan joke from last week. Also, shout out to Keegan. I was on his Turn Zero list this week.
What'd you talk about there? Just a little preview.
You'll have to go to the it's
okay.
Wookiees.
Wookiees.
Shocking. Yeah, so I
don't even know why I asked. Yeah.
But I tried to change it up because he had a couple other people doing some Wookiee lists. Because of Wookiee Weeks was his
Wookiee
thing.
Weeks,
so yeah, so I changed it up. Didn't run the prototypical Wookiee list. So check that out this week. I think he's gonna be airing it next week.
So no Wookiee leaks for us?
You gotta pay extra for that.
Oh, okay.
No, but my social, I've got Outrider_John on Instagram. If you want to check out any of the painting that I do,
Hell yeah.
I'm on there.
And Long Gun Wookiee on OnlyFans, right?
Exactly.
Long Gun Wookiee.
Oh boy. Dan, how about you?
Well, I'm boring. I'm on the Discord. I'm on the Facebook. I'm on your Twitch channel.
Dan_Outrider Dan available on there. Mm-hmm. You can catch me on Twitter at GRN_Archer or streaming on Twitch at Captain_Archer. Other than that, guys, take care, be good to each other, and we'll see you next episode.
This concludes the current episode of the Legion Outriders podcast. You may cultivate a tactical advantage by observing the Outriders on Facebook or Twitter at Legion Outriders. Wisdom advocates subscribing to the podcast. Acting otherwise is reckless.